Go to something we're going to call the 3 count here. So 3 quick questions and whatever comes to your mind. It's going to be sort of 3 quick questions and your answers to them. Hopefully they're good. So we're going to move to something we call the 3 count now. It's going to be 3 quick questions and your responses. So here we go. It could be 3 quick questions and your responses. So here we go. Kind of off-topic questions and your answers to them. So we'll see how this goes. I always get a little nervous when I do this with people. So I'm always like, I don't know if they're going to be any good, but usually they end up okay. So we're going to move to something we call the 3 count now. It's going to be 3 quick questions and your answers. That's a good reaction. I don't get that one much.
I'm nervous. I'm so bad at like thinking on my feet, like deciding like what's your favorite movie, like and you have 2 seconds. That's like literally my kryptonite. I blank out and I can't think of any movies. I'm like, I don't even know what I like. And so I'm always just like, here we go.
Question on the 3 count. What's your favorite place to visit in New York?
My mom's house. No, I'm a mama's boy. No.
Funniest wrestler that you have encountered?
Oh, R-Truth. R-Truth every day.
What about him?
Oh, he's just hilarious. He's so quick with like comebacks and things to say, and everything that comes out of that man's mouth is hilarious. Like it really is. He's just a funny human.
Who are some of your favorite tag teams ever, other than obviously yourself and your brother, to watch as a fan?
Obviously, we're big fans of the Rockers. The Rockers weren't always utilized as like a top tier tag team. We love the Road Warriors, and I think everyone was going to love the Road Warriors and LOD. Just they would come out and destroy people. It's what they did. I was also a big fan of the Arn Anderson and Tully Blanchard. The Brainbusters. They were amazing too, and you could really tell they were a great and fun team.
All right.
Are you watching The Boys? Are you watching The Boys right now?
I have not.
Okay, it's incredible. You should watch The Boys. Do you like Marvel?
I started watching it a little bit early pandemic. It was like going through the movies and trying to go in order, but I didn't get very far.
That's what I'm doing.
Macho Man Randy Savage and Shawn Michaels. Too much or fashion icons? What do you think?
I mean, it's wrestling. I'm going to say icons. I think like in wrestling, like, is there ever too much? Like everything but the kitchen sink, right? So I'm going to go with icons.
Have you ever done voiceover work, and what commercial would sound 10 times better with Damian Priest introducing it?
I've never done voiceover work. I don't know. I feel like some type of like hair product.
Because you definitely have the voice for it. I think that's clear. Yeah, I mean, Macho Man had so many different, unique looks, and then as I got older, he sort of moved to the cowboy hat and the fringe, and everything got a little weird from there. Shawn Michaels, the chaps, like all sorts of stuff going on with his gear over time.
But it keeps people talking. If you think about Lady Gaga or Madonna, they always have these eras, and sometimes they were maybe a little questionable. Maybe that wasn't like the Ray look, but it got people to have a conversation. It kept them relevant, and it was just really fun. It gives you something wild to look forward to.
I think I want to use that in the future. The Macho Man Randy Savage and Shawn Michaels are the Madonna and Lady Gaga of pro wrestling fashion. I think. Who are your 3 favorite wrestling doctors?
Oh crap! Isaac Yankem. I don't know.
First off, what is the best part about covering pro wrestling and editing the Wrestling Observer newsletter every week?
Learning. Just learning about the business. I have to learn because I'm looking at these numbers and, but yeah, learning what works, learning what doesn't work.
Is there a wrestling, because I found myself doing it, is there a wrestling theme song you find yourself singing to yourself more than others?
As of recently, yeah. I sing Bianca Belair's song all the time because when I'm watching Raw or when I'm seeing I see a commercial of her, all I hear is "I'm on my own against the wall."
And I feel like when you hear Bianca Belair's music, you actually do have to do all the movements too. Like you can't do one without the other.
If I wasn't sitting right now, I'd be skipping. Okay.
Have you ever had the opportunity to use Whose House, Swerve's House, or derivatives of it in your everyday life? And what is it like for you to hear whole, entire audiences getting into that?
Oh man, yeah, the backstage conversation has popped up for sure. Like honestly, it's not even for me. It's like when like producers like Jerry Lynn said like had just talked to me I believe yesterday, say like something about him and his wife, and she said like, who's gonna clean this house? Whose house? And then Swerve's house came up, and his wife answered back with Swerve's house. So I'm like, okay, so it's transitioning into regular everyday lifestyle culture, which is cool.
You can invite 3 wrestling personalities over to dinner. Who gets the invite, and what do you want to talk about?
Oh wow, 3 personalities, living, dead,
Anytime,
whatever. Anytime. Oh man. Well, I would love to have. I mean, Pat Patterson was always just so much fun to be around, and such a gregarious guy, such a fun guy. You know, Pat's certainly a guy I would consider. I always enjoyed Jim Ross, you know, just just stories for forever and so much knowledge. And also, if you're gonna have dinner, that dude has some great taste in where to go for a good steak. Definitely a good get there. And you know, I would be remiss if I didn't mention, guys like the Goldust Trio from the 30s. You know, that's, you got to Google that stuff to figure out who they are. But they kind of basically created the modern day framework for wrestling.
What is your favorite big venue to wrestle in, your favorite small venue to wrestle in, and the weirdest place you have ever had a wrestling match?
Great question. All right.
What is the transition like from Thunder Rosa to mom?
There's no transition. She's Thunder Rosa's worse than Melissa, actually. You should ask my son. She hates Thunder Rosa.
Weirdest place I've ever wrestled, and I joke around about this all the time, was a Whole Foods parking lot. And I believe I was I must have been like 3 or 4 months in, and I had no idea what. I just was told, hey, there's a show in East Providence at the time. And when I got there and I saw the address, I was like, this is a Whole Foods. And so I'm walking through a Whole Foods with my gear bag and stuff. And I had to walk through like the little back, grocery part into like their loading dock. And I got in gear in a loading dock of a Whole Foods and then walked through the front of the store and made my entrance to the ring. So I would say the Whole Foods is one of those organically weird places.
What were your 3 favorite selfies that you took in WWE so far?
I would say one that I think is just hilarious is when Brock put his hat on me. I kind of turned it around and took a selfie with it on, just to, that's just me. So I have that one with the cowboy hat. I would definitely say the selfie with Mr. McMahon with the United States Championship. And I have to say the one standing over Las Vegas on the top of that ladder with Money in the Bank in my hand.
And anybody that you haven't taken one with that you would like to?
Yes, and that is the Tribal Chief and John Cena. But maybe I know when I took my selfie with John Cena, a lot of people say he walked away, but you can't see him. So, I mean, I don't know.
You could take one thing from pro wrestling and apply it to baseball to spice things up a bit. What would you choose?
Ooh. I think it would be the ability to body slam or super kick an umpire, because one thing I've always felt is umpires are too big for their britches sometimes because they know you can't do anything to them and they can do whatever they want. So I do think sometimes, bad call, you get in my face, stand back, super kick.
That would get more complicated if we end up with robot umpires in the future too.
Oh, I'm not a fan of that.
Our first question, what would be the first 3 things on the syllabus for the professor of professional wrestling?
That's a great question. First and foremost, when you're getting in my ring, wipe your feet. Wipe your feet. It's a respect thing, it's the ring crew does a lot to take care of the ring, and those canvases get ruined really quickly, and it's such a pet peeve of mine when I see people just getting in the ring with dirty shoes and all of that.
Interesting. You could book 2 people from any time in pro wrestling history for a match in the NWA. Who would it be and why?
Ooh, that's a fantastic question. I'm just going to jump in because I know you want it quick. A heel John Cena against like Mr. Wrestling 2 or something as a babyface.
Okay.
And give me like 30 minutes. You know?
That's number one. When you're getting in my ring or the ring, wipe your feet. Second thing on the syllabus, gotta have a great lockup. Lockup is so important. That was embedded in me in OVW.
Other than Sonya Deville, who in front of the camera or behind the scenes has the best suit game and why?
Ooh. Miz does a great job. He does a great double Windsor, which is really important to me. And he always has a great shoe to pair, which I think is very important. And his suits are always super fitted. Yeah, Miz definitely is on par with what I like about a suit.
Third thing, study. Watch wrestling. I understand we're all busy and, you know, people have jobs and all this stuff. But if you really want to like excel in this business, you have to watch it. And you cannot just be watching WWE and AEW and Impact. You have to watch, you know, All Japan from the 90s. You have to watch New Japan. You have to watch even Lucha if you know, like you can get something from everything, but like especially like the 80s and 90s and the old school wrestling, like you have to. So definitely, I mean, I wouldn't even rank those in order of it, you know, importance. They're all equally important, but if you're not watching wrestling and studying, you're doing yourself a disservice completely.